Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Elliot Brown here in the Essex Business Radio studio. And this is another in the very special and compelling series, C-19, How We Deal With It, where I talk to people everywhere, seemingly, as it's happened, about how they are dealing with it, how it's maybe impacted their lives, and some ideas and advice they've got for everybody that are going through the same thing. And so today, from Dudley here in the UK is Simone Bell of Deux Event Services. Hi, Simone. How are you?
Hi, Elliot. I'm fine, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you very much for coming on. And you have an event services. You do music and bits and pieces like that. Tell me a little bit about that, because that's clearly been impacted with what's going on.
Yeah,
So tell us a bit about your business.
yeah. So it's Deux Event Services, as you say.
Yeah.
We do corporate events and live music events.
Wow.
And
Okay.
yes, we've been going now for 4 years.
Okay.
The business, along with my husband, who's a sound engineer.
Yeah.
My background is more sort of corporate, organizational side.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, like you said, we've been impacted massively. Obviously, our whole business is around face-to-face
Yeah.
live events. So we've had to navigate through that. So the coronavirus has hit us very hard
Yeah.
in terms of losing most of our contracts for this year.
Yeah.
So, but it's learning how to navigate around that. And so actually really using the time now to look at systems, processes, and how we do. If something like this was to happen again, we hope not, but something that, impacts us, that we're able to still continue. So I think in some way we can look at it as a positive, because it causes us
Absolutely.
to rethink things
Yeah.
and look at the way we do things.
So do you work with your husband? Is your business, hence the Deux, right?
Yeah, so Dubel, so the French for two.
Yeah.
Those are the two of us. Our surname is Bell, so hence
Yeah.
Dubel. That's
Yeah.
where it comes from. So yeah, we work together. Like I said, I do the organizational side,
Yeah.
and the sort of day-to-day running, and he comes in on the audio and sound side.
So you've been up and for the last 4 years, you've been doing events, like sort of nationally. I would think, yeah.
Yeah, nationally. So the business itself has been running for 4 years. Prior to that, I was been in events now for over 10 years,
Uh-huh.
working for large pharmaceutical companies. So traveled the world, managing and coordinating events. My
Okay.
husband, same. He was self-employed sound engineer for over 20 years,
Right.
and so we've come together, our business in the last 4 years. So yeah, nationally and internationally.
Oh,
Running it.
internationally as well. Okay.
Yeah.
And you clearly work well together, yeah.
We do actually, yes, and it's a good job now that we're stuck
Yeah.
indoors together, day in, day out.
Absolutely. Now you're forced to work very closely together. And how has that worked out? I mean, obviously, do you have offices? Do you work from usually? Do you tend to run the business from home? I mean, how do you work the business usually?
To be fair, we run it from home anyway,
Okay.
and we have an office space at home,
Yeah.
and we schedule. So to be honest, in terms of day to day, coronavirus hasn't impacted us that much in that we're used to being home. We're used to work from home scheduling, but it's just sort of being a little bit more strategic with things. Like I said, re-looking at things and doing what we do in a different way.
Yeah. Okay. And so how are you? What are you doing now with your business? Bearing in mind that, I mean, I suppose, lots of things have been cancelled. I know that I've spoken to people in television as well.
Yeah.
And within 24 hours, 2 weeks ago, they lost, one person specifically lost, 40, 50 grand's worth of business in 24 hours. And I haven't spoken to them since, because there's not a lot of points still talking about these things again. But I can virtually guarantee they probably lost the rest of their contracts as well. I mean, how does that work with you guys? I mean, what is it that you're now doing with your business to sort of change completely what you're doing, and embrace the change? Hashtag, which I keep using.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, so with us, a lot of our content, they've either been cancelled or they've been postponed. Obviously, the difficulty with the postponement is no one really knows
No.
the time frame for this. So it's let's hope for the end of the year.
Yeah.
There's been that, but we're using this time, like I said, to look at sort of more online events as
Right.
well. So
Okay.
another offering,
Yeah.
and okay, how can we do what we do online and
Yeah.
then clients and saying, okay, well, we've got this, we can do this now, and this is how it can look online, and move it into that, in that sort of direction anyway, which is good, because we're in a time now where, which I think this period has shown us, that we can reach anywhere in the world because of technology. So why not embrace that anyway? Outside of the coronavirus, our events, we should really be looking to move online so that we can reach further, and that's what we're sort of encouraging our clients to go that route as well. Like I said, systems and process, really the foundational things of the business. We're having time to sort of look at all of that, because you can get so busy working in your business that you kind of miss the day-to-day, you know, more admin stuff. So it's a good chance to do all that and catch up with that. I myself, anyway, for the last 2 years have been moving into the personal development coaching side of things.
Okay.
Because I transitioned obviously from employment to running my own business, and now I work with women who want to do the same.
Yes.
Who want to make that transition. So I've been doing coaching for the last 2 years. So I'm actually using this time to do a lot more of that, a lot of more online courses, and just started a podcast.
Yes. Yeah. Go on. Tell us about that. Go on.
Yeah, so it's called Ideas to Implementation, and it really is interviewing women who have made the transition out of employment to running their own business. Just sort of getting their interviewing them about their journey, getting their wisdom, what that they've learned, the barriers they face and how they've overcome them. With the whole aim was to share that with women who want to do the same but maybe don't have the confidence to. So that's very new. In fact, it launched this week, so it's very new, but I'm getting a lot of reach. For instance, I interviewed a lady today who's in Zimbabwe, and because she saw my post about the podcast, and she said, I've got my business. And it just showed, again, the power of technology and how we can really use it to our advantage.
Absolutely. Now, was that something you were planning to do anyway on the podcast side, or is this situation, you know, made that happen quicker?
Definitely was always on my to-do list. But this situation definitely made it happen a lot quicker, because I've got the time now to sort of do the interviews and get it all done. So it certainly made it happen a lot quicker than maybe it would have done, which is, I think, is good. Sometimes you need that.
So it sounds like you're making quite a lot of changes, looking at how you can adapt your business to work. And of course, online has been a big thing. It's going to become an even bigger thing than probably anybody envisaged it was going to be before, particularly when it comes to businesses and how they work online. I mean, of course, people have been buying online, and that sort of, you know, the whole sort of retail has very much moved to there. In fact, I think retail is going to change again, which I didn't think they foresaw, and that's going to be an interesting conversation, I think, to have with people. And we actually broached the subject today on another podcast, where I think retail possibly could even potentially go back to the high street again because of the way the things are, which is and a dynamic you never would have expected to happen. But I think with businesses like yourselves, where it is very much, you know, you go to an event, you go to a stadium, you go wherever, you know, how that is then going to be done online a lot more. There was definitely a movement in that. Am I right in saying anyway?
Yeah, definitely there was. It's sort of been moved in that direction. I just don't think, like we said, anyone foresaw that this would happen and it would move so quickly, and having to change, like you said, for some people in 24 hours, change your whole business model, what you do, and just keep, I guess, stay afloat. That's the thing, because I know there are some businesses that are being hit very hard, you know, to the point of having to close, having to stop, even suppliers that we use, etc., you know, really being hit because of maybe where they're getting their equipment from and things. So it's
probably a knock-on effect.
It's a massive knock-on effect.
Yeah. So 4 years ago, you set the business up, and I haven't really talked about this, but I think it's quite interesting. And I sort of tend to think about these things off the top of my head as we're chatting. So 48 years ago, when you went from sort of employed and you started your business, you go through those difficult patches. So being adaptable now, it isn't so difficult, is it? You know, I think some of the bigger businesses aren't going to adapt quite as well as some of the smaller businesses like ourselves, like people, you know, that I tend to get on the show and stuff like that. Would you agree with that?
Oh, definitely. We, like you say, with small business hours, you know, I hate the word small business, and we're just businesses. But,
we are. Yeah.
But we have had to have a bit more resilience, a bit more grit, and had to really overcome barriers and challenges that maybe, like you said, the big guys haven't had. So we're used to having to adapt, having to pivot and navigate through difficult times. And so, yeah, I think we've kind of got that edge.
Yeah.
Myself as well, running the business, in the middle of running a business, I then had a baby. And so having a baby, young child, working from home, yourself with all of that. So,
oh yeah, why not throw it all in the mix at the same time? You know, why not?
Anything.
So, but it does prepare you for stuff like this, doesn't it? I mean, you know, that's everything. I mean, and I can almost guarantee, and I can sort of get this coming from you. And we had a chat before we started recording, but we tend to sort of isolate ourselves anyway in running our businesses. So when it comes to something like this, and I know you said this before we started recording, you know, the impact, and actually since we started, the impact isn't maybe quite as great as some people that are commuting and going to the business. And this has come up in conversation a few times now. We are able to adapt. We are able to go, do you know what? Okay, we're like this. We've just got to find something now that is tangible and we can sort of work with it. And you're definitely doing that. What are you advising your ladies, your business women out there that you speak to, that you coach or that you're just speaking to? And I'm assuming you're giving a lot of value at the moment. You just want to help people because that's really important right now, to help as many people as you can. And that will pay back when the time is right. I firmly believe that. What are you advising them at the moment? I mean, because there's some people that are going to be struggling more than you and I are, and we have our days, I'm sure. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But what are you advising?
I'm just literally telling everyone I speak to, use this time wisely.
Yeah.
So, put things in place, things that you didn't have time to do before, projects that you wanted to start, use this time. So that business idea, start doing the groundwork now. What you can do from home, do it. But I just keep saying to people, don't get to the end of 3 months, 4 months, however long this goes on, and look back and regret that you actually didn't do anything.
Sure.
Just sat home and watched Netflix. I mean,
there's a lot of people doing it, Simone. There's a lot of people doing it. I mean, I'm sorry to jump in there, but somebody made a comment on Facebook a few days ago about their alcohol consumption going up and how many other people have done that, right? And there are a lot of people doing it. Absolutely huge amounts of people doing that. And my comment was, my consumption has been zero. I've been too busy doing things. And they sent me like a yawn or a snore. And I'm sort of thinking, well, do you know what? It takes all sorts, and with all due respect, they're employed. They have a role. They're probably on furlough. So, I'm not being funny. Maybe they don't get the time the rest of the time to have these down days. So it takes all sorts. Personally, I can't do that. I mean, if anything, I'm probably working more bloody hours now than I've done before. And I was working enough before.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. You said it, it takes all sorts. I'm not knocking anyone. I'm just encouraging people, use the time wisely. Schedules are my friend. I guess it's what I do, event management, but schedule the night before what I'm doing the next day. I've always done, especially working from home, you've got to put those sort of systems in place.
Absolutely.
And when you do that, schedule in downtime, schedule in time with your family, your walk for the one bit of exercise that we're allowed now, your Netflix time. I'm not saying don't have downtime.
Yeah, of course.
But what I'm saying is personally, it doesn't work for me sitting 24 hours a day, just doing nothing, get to the end of the day and have nothing to show for it. I'm also writing a book at the moment. So, scheduling in a chapter a day, writing that also, it helps your mental health, your mental well-being. And I think
writing a book.
Well, just keeping yourself active.
Oh, yeah. Okay. But there are a lot of people writing books now. I think there's going to be an influx of books that are out there. I think, but it's weird because a funny knock-on effect that a lot of people are going to be reading now, and there's going to be a lot of people writing. So again, you think about another industry that potentially could change off the back of this as well. And I do know the book industry has actually had a big rise recently in the last few years, which is bizarre, bearing in mind that everything is digital and stuff now. But anyway, how can we ever tell? The public decide how sort of industries move. So I mean, how are the dynamics of your personal life? I mean, if you don't mind me asking, how old are your kids?
So I have one, and she's 19 months old.
She's 19 months, is she? So okay, so that hasn't changed particularly, but either on that side then.
No, just that she's entering the terrible twos early, and so keeping her indoors is a little bit, she's climbing the walls, but we go in the garden, etc. But it's not massively, but everyone has their own life, and you'll have to adapt and find what works for you. So, I
Yeah.
think everybody's situation is different, and we've all got, I guess the effect for everyone is different as well.
Yeah, definitely. But everybody's well and safe around you. All is good on that side.
Yeah, thankfully, things go. I mean, I do know people that have lost loved ones or
Yeah.
have ones in hospital at the moment. It's not easy at all, but thanks God, we're all well at the moment, and so
Good,
just hope.
good. Finances wise and things like that. I know this is something you mentioned before we sort of started recording. On the financial side, with regards to your business, because it has been impacted in, but it's virtually chopped overnight. I mean, how has that impacted you guys? I mean, you've done well over the last 4 years? You've been able to put some away, or have you had to utilize, or are you currently looking at how you are able to get some support and relief from the banks or the governments and things like that? How's that work for you?
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely, like everyone's sort of looking at what help. We're doing okay. That shows the importance of having buffers and maintaining your finances as well. And that's what I
Definitely.
say. Things like this really calls you to look at how you've been doing business. Have
Yeah.
you been doing it well, or is there things that need to change? So we're doing okay, but definitely looking at what help's available, because we don't know, like I said, how long this is going to go on for.
No.
And I guess the problem with that is that everything still is a bit up in the air. It was disappointing that not a lot was said about the self-employed before.
Yeah.
Help. So that's so we're like, I think like everyone, we're sort of staying with our ear to the ground, what's happening there,
Yeah.
and what help is going to be available.
Yeah. Well, we may have some advice for you on that side, so keep an eye out on what we do. We've linked with a few people that are at the forefront of finding information out and helping small businesses or businesses, as we call ourselves, rather than small. Listen, you can't call yourself a small business. You'd be proud to be a small business owner. 90% of the planet is supported financially by SMEs these days, by small businesses. So we are the lifeline of the world.
We are.
So where can people find you if they're looking for you on your podcast or your business? Where can they find you right now?
Yeah, so our website is www.deuxbells, so DEUXBELLS.com. We're on Instagram. I have a personal account on Instagram, LinkedIn, Simone Bell, and podcast, like I said, Ideas to Implementations. So you will definitely find us on social media.
Good stuff, and we'll make sure that we have a link around the posts and things that we do on social media for you, and you'll do us a favour and share this out onto your audience, of course, as well, won't you?
Definitely will do.
Well, listen, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much for coming on and talking to me about this. I wish you the best of luck. I mean, you've got some. I mean, I'm not. Let's not sugarcoat this. You've got some challenging times ahead. But by the sounds of it, you're definitely in the right frame of mind. You're definitely in the right position to look and and reflect and evaluate where you are and how you can take advantage of some new trends in your industry. So I'm interested to see where you take this, and I'm confident that you're going to be absolutely fine, as we all are.
Yes, no, thank you, appreciate that, and just wish the best of luck to everybody, everyone out there. We keep our head above the water, keep going, keep positive, because positivity will help us as well to get through this time.
Without a shadow of a doubt. Thank you very much. Thanks very much again. Simone Bell there from Deux, and this has been another very, very interesting podcast. I'm learning a lot, and I'm hoping you guys are as well. If you're listening, if you're watching, whatever, and this is the first time you've seen us, go and check out www.essexbusinessradio.com. You will find all of the links on there, current news and affairs, etc., and all of the podcasts, new and old. Thanks very much again, Simone, and I look forward to catching up with you very, very soon.
Thank you so much.
All right. I'm going to sign off for now. So it's ciao for now. Brown